I wore braces on my teeth all through junior high school. The other kids would taunt and tease me endlessly for days on end. One day, as I was crying on the steps, someone sat next to me and put his arm around my back. He said, "Olive, I have known you for years and don't agree with how Juddy, Barabbas, and Ahab are harassing and treating you." He looked me in my red-stained eyes and said, "Olive, you have always been the prettiest girl in this school to me. In my eyes, there is no one prettier than you. You wear braces that are temporarily doing a job to straighten your teeth. I know you don't like the braces, but they are not always going to be in your mouth. But with or without your braces, you are beautiful." In that moment, something dark lifted up off my shoulders, and I smiled and said nothing to him, but I believed every word. It helped me feel better. I started having more confidence because I was reminded that my braces were only a temporary thing that I didn't have to live with forever. We eventually both graduated from high school and attended different universities. But as fate would have it, I was able to snag a job at McDonald and Donald's firm 2 months after my college graduation. I worked hard to prove myself, and I received bonus checks and departmental awards for my work. One boss, who was constantly loudly showboating and always bragging on his team, was furious that the latest bonus wasn't picked up by his unit. He was really coming down hard on a young man by the name of Ty Henderson. He was 6'2" with jet black curly hair and deep brown eyes. He smelled like a slice of heaven. He said, "Tam told me you worked with this company, but I didn't know you worked in this particular building. How are you? It's good to see you." I could tell he was still fuming from the tongue lashing he took from his manager. He looked tired and distraught. I said, "I knew you worked here in this building because I saw you leave the building earlier this morning. Do you want to go to lunch now? I think we could both use some fresh air." He was embarrassed to think that I caught his boss yelling at him. He said, "Sure, let me grab my jacket." I waited about 5 minutes, and he came out of the coat room and said, "Let's get out of here," with a frown on his face. I said, "I hope your day wasn't that bad. Come on, let's eat some comfort food." He jokingly said, "Olive, I haven't seen you in a few years, but you of all people know I'm watching my waistline, Gull." I laughed, and we went to lunch. I told him he looked great and smelled fantastic. He blushed and said thank you. Lunch helped lift his spirits, and he seemed much more relaxed when we got back to the office.
Day was the start of many lunch dates and later dinner dates. We found out we liked each other's company. I looked forward to talking to him over the phone late at night. 2 years fly by, and he was profiling in a brand new expensive tailored suit with a baby blue shirt, gold cufflinks, and new black shoes. I saw him in the hallway and commented on how dapper he looked. He blushed again and asked if I was free for a quick bite tonight. I said sure. He said, "Wear something fancy and I will pick you up at 6:30 p.m. on the dot." I said, "Did you get another promotion?" Ignoring my question, he said, "I will see you at 6:30 p.m. sharp." He arrived in his new navy blue suit and had changed his shoes and tie. I said, "Wow, you sure clean up nice. Look at you, sharp as a tack." He said, "You look absolutely beautiful, Olive, but you look this way to me every day." I laughed and said, "Yeah, right." We walked to his car where he held open the door to my condo building and then to his car. He closed the car door on my side. Burr, not until he sweetly fastened my seatbelt on me. I said, "Thank you, sir." We arrived at an upscaled restaurant on the north side beachfront. It was beautiful. I was wondering if he's not going to tell me about a promotion or something else good. I haven't a clue. He was so handsome in his navy blue suit. We walked into the restaurant where they addressed him as Mr. Henderson. "Your table is ready, sir." Ty said, "Thank you." We were handed the large menu without prices. He ordered wine, saying he wanted to make a toast. I smiled with goosebumps on my arms in anticipation of what tonight holds. The bread and butter was placed on the table. The restaurant was lit by candlelight with wall sconces. The mood was extremely peaceful, and if I must say, sweetly romantic. He asked what I was in the mood for, steak or seafood or both. I told him I couldn't possibly eat anything, knowing he had special news of some sort. He looked at me and folded his hands, leaned back and lovingly seemed to soak me in like a strawberry shake. I blushed, seeing him lovingly admire me from across the table. He took his wine glass, and he said, as I lifted my glass also, "Here is to us and our wonderful future." We tapped our glasses, smiled, and sipped our wine. The waiter asked if he could take our appetizer order. Ty said, "No, we will order our entree now, please." After placing our order, he grabbed my left hand across the table while still looking lovingly into my eyes and said, "Olive, we have known each other a long time. I remember being on the playground with you near the monkey bars. I remember asking you if I could push you on the swing. You said, 'Sure.' I replayed that 'sure' in my head over and over for years. My goal in life was to be successful in my industry. But the first time I saw you in our building at work, I almost fell out. You have always been in my heart, Olive." I was quiet because I was totally caught off guard. He said, "I have tried to imagine life without you, and I just can't do it. And I don't want to waste any time, so let's get to it. So I have one serious question for you, Olive, to answer, please. I am happy to be wherever you are. When I am close to you at work or at lunch or dinner, I am happy. But for me, it's just not enough. I am not clingy, nor am I a stalker, but need to have you with me as my life partner. Olive, will you do the I do's with me, please? Because I want to do the I do with you." Ty pulled out a 3-carat platinum diamond emerald cut ring with baguettes on both sides. As he looked at me, waiting on an answer, I said a resounding, "Yes, Ty, I will do the I do's with you. Yes, I surely will." The entire restaurant